What's up, guys? All right, in this section, we're talking about how to meal prep. So let's get into it. What do you need? All right, so you need your grocery list. That's everything that's on your meal plan, all the different foods, all the different items you'll need. You'll need that. So you'll need your grocery list. You'll need a kitchen that has a stove and a fridge. You'll need kitchenware, pots and pans. You'll need a food scale. That can be old school analog or digital. You'll need measuring cups and tools, measuring tools. You'll need food storage containers or meal prep containers, etc. You'll need a lunchbox or a meal prep bag. They make one called the 6-pack bag, which is very beneficial for you if you have like 4 to 6 different meals to eat for that day. It makes it easy to separate those into the meal prep bag. So you may want to look into that if that's something you're interested in. You'll need the food from your grocery list. And then you'll also, this is optional, but more than likely you'll want to have some 0 to low calorie condiments and some low sodium or sodium free seasonings. All right. So schedule time to meal prep. This is really important. Meal prep usually takes between an hour to 2 hours, depending on what is being prepared and how much of it you're preparing. All right. So just like you schedule sessions or schedule a time to work out, meal prep should be scheduled as well. This is highly important because as I have said before, most of your results will come from what you eat. All right. So the gym is like a crucial part, but it's only 60 to 90 minutes of your time out of 24 hours, right? Most of us eat in I'll just say like an 8 to 12 hour window. So like that's majority of your day. So that window is very important because you're eating in a way bigger window of time out of that 24 hours, right? So select a time on any day of the week that works best for you to meal prep. Make sure you do this. If you're relying on meal prep services, that's great. Just make sure you're on top of them, arriving on a timely basis so you're not running out of food or trying to figure it out. All right. So make sure you schedule time to meal prep. Preparing meats. Most meats can be cooked using the following methods. You can grill them, bake them, and cook them on the stove top using a pan, pots and pans, the air fryer. That's a new one. A lot of people, I haven't personally used it, but I have tried beef steak from the air fryer and it was really great. It's tender. You have the crock pot, which also gets the meat tender if your other methods, if the meat if it's not tender, maybe try using the air fryer or the crock pot. All right. No fried foods unless you have a healthy recipe that can get you that fried texture. It won't actually be fried using, like grease or whatever of the sort that gets it fried. All right. Before preparing any raw meats, always clean and make sure it is clean before cooking. All right. You want to do this because this will help you avoid getting a foodborne illness. You don't want to get sick. All right, to add flavor to your meat sources, you can add seasonings such as low sodium or sodium free um, of your choice to the meat prior to cooking it. All right, so most meat purchased in the store has cooking instructions on the packaging, but if not, you can Google how to cook or prepare, chicken or fish or salmon or steak, whichever. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, just ask your coach. Like, hey, what do you recommend for preparing this fish that's on my plan? And I will more than gladly tell you how to do that. All right. When you're finished cooking your meats, place them in food containers, so Rubbermaid or etc., and store them in the fridge or freezer to preserve. If you have more than one type of meat, then you would want to separate those meats and place those into separate containers. This will help you avoid cross-contamination, which is related to another foodborne illness. All right. So tip, cook enough food to last for 3 to 5 days. All right. I've done 7 before. I've cooked enough for 7. And from my experience, somewhere between 3 and 5 is like that. I feel like that's the cutoff. It starts to get, like it's not as good past that fifth day. So that may mean, well, yeah, it will definitely mean that you will be meal prepping twice a week. So, if you're doing every 3 days, then that's three, so two, I mean. All right, moving on. Preparing vegetables and fruits. Some vegetables can be prepared or consumed raw. Example, spinach, kale, lettuce, carrots, broccoli, onions, tomatoes, cauliflower, and so on. Meanwhile, some others need to be cooked. Brussels, asparagus, potatoes, quinoa, rice, and etc. Before I move on, lettuce. All right, so the thing about lettuce, most people get, like, when you go somewhere to eat, most people, or they usually serve like the iceberg lettuce that doesn't have a lot of green leafy vegetables. You want to get the green leafy vegetables like spinach, like kale, zucchini. You want that because those, like, they contain all of the nutrients that you need, antioxidants, all that. The lettuce is usually just like water. Like, there's not a lot of nutritional benefit from like iceberg lettuce. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right, moving on. Whether preparing raw or cooking, remember to clean the vegetables with clean water prior to preparing. The reason for that is, I mean, there could be anything that has gotten on the vegetables and the process of them putting them out in the store. People, packaging, you bringing it home from the grocery store. It's good to clean it. If the product doesn't have preparation instruction on the packaging, then Google how to prepare Brussels, quinoa, rice, etc. Or ask your coach. Most fruits can be stored fresh in the fridge or freezer and or eaten raw, but again, make sure it is clean. All right, so the same thing. If you got apples or something like that, just wash them off before eating them. Strawberries, grapes, all that. All right. I didn't put this on here, but as far as fruits and vegetables go, as far as them being fresh, usually the indicator for them not being fresh would be a smell, or if they have like a wet, like slimy look to them, and that's both fruits and vegetables, then it's probably going bad. Don't eat it. If it's slimy and it's not supposed to be slimy, don't eat it. All right. Or if it has mold or anything like that on it, don't eat it. All right. Measure your food. This is highly important. This is so important. Portion control. All right. Most people that are overweight or obese overeat, period. All right. So to ensure you're getting the right amount of food, measure or weigh every food item. This is a major key in helping you get to your physical goal because your meal plan has caloric needs and you don't want to go over or under. Yes, you can undereat also. Those of you that may be trying to gain weight on my program, if you undereat, you're not going to gain weight. And those of you who are trying to lose weight, burn body fat, if you're overeating, you're not going to accomplish that goal. All right. Measuring your food prevents you from overeating. Once the food is gone, no more, no mas, my friend, for that meal. All right, so it's done. Once you eat that meal that you prepped, whether that's meal 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever one that is, you're done until the next meal. All right. Food scales and food measuring tools can be found at most grocery stores like Walmart, Target, Kroger, Publix, Vons, Ralph's, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and etc. Or you can always order them online. All right. Food accessibility. This is also important. I've heard this excuse a lot. Oh, I forgot my food. I didn't have my food near me, or I didn't make. There's no excuses. All right. Purchase individual meal prep containers. Get enough of them so that you have enough for 4 to 6 separate meals. Based on your meal plan, prepare each meal individually and store them into the individual meal prep containers. Store each meal you'll need for the day into your lunchbox. Make sure you have condiments, napkins, utensils, floss, sugar-free mints, or whatever else you may need in the lunchbox. Some people may think it's corny, but if you want to set yourself up to win, take your lunchbox with you wherever you go so there's no room for error. This is a temporary hack until you get to your goal or learn how to follow your meal plan and track macros more efficiently. So basically, what that means is once you get to your goal and you know your macros, or like you know which meals to eat, how to eat them, where to get the food from on the fly, then you don't have to necessarily have that lunchbox. But in the beginning, if you guys are just now starting, you better have that lunchbox. No excuses. All right. Avoiding temptations. This is also huge. Just think about your goal, think about your why. All right. Don't eat or consume anything that isn't on your meal plan or that doesn't fit your macros. No excuses. Eat your meals every 2 to 3 hours to avoid the hunger pains and to avoid the risk of giving in to temptations. So, if this is new to you, eating every 2 to 3 hours, for example, I come from a small town where there's not a lot of there aren't any healthy places to eat besides going to everything's all you can eat restaurants for the most part, and like a few fast food chains. So unless you get a salad, and even the salads are questionable sometimes, like it's not healthy food, right? So the lifestyle there was you made 2 or 3 meals a day, but those meals, like you're full after each meal. So this is not that. Um, these meals that you'll be eating are much smaller meals. So eating every 2 to 3 hours is going to prevent you from overeating. So you're not going to get that stuffed feeling. Like you'll have all of the nutrients and calories that you need, that your body needs to get you to your goal, but you're not going to have that I'm stuffed feeling. All right. Anyways, moving on. I know it's a challenge to say no to donuts, cookies, lattes, pizza, or whatever else that may be freely available at home, work, or in a social setting, but you need to remind yourself that you're on a mission and stick to the plan. During this lifestyle adjustment, your coworkers, friends, and family will more than likely guilt you for turning down the foods or activities that may be drinking or whatever that they're used to seeing you partake in, or try to convince you to do it. Just smile and tell them what you're doing. Tell them your goals. Tell them you have a coach. This is the plan. This is what you're doing. You're sticking to the plan. Once you start making progress, they will give you compliments and ask for advice on how you're getting the results you're getting. So that's how it is. Like when you're in the process of getting to that goal, they're going to ask you. I'm sure you guys have seen the quote, but they're going to ask you why you're doing what you're doing. Once you get there, they're going to ask you how you did what you did to get there. So those people criticizing you, judging, they will become your fans once you get to where you're trying to go. And you will be the guru in their eyes because they witnessed you do it. All right. So don't drink your calories either. Basically, that means stay away from soft drinks, sodas, alcohol, beer, all of that stuff. Be careful with, I already mentioned it as far as condiments go. Be careful with those. They can be loaded with sugar, sodium, carbs, fat. So you got to be careful with those condiments. It's best to just do like the low calorie condiments or sugar free, just to play it safe. Sugar free. And if you have a lot of weight to lose, I would play it safe and roll with the sugar free. Um, so that's it. That's how to meal prep. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If there are any questions along your journey, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I will be more than glad to help you. Otherwise, let's get to these goals, baby. All right. See you guys later.